I just wanted to make a quick introduction to this video. It's where I sailed down from New York to Florida on my friend's 39-foot Mariner. He bought the boat in Haverstraw, New York back in November, and he's wanting to get it down to Florida for obvious reasons and not to spend winter in New York. But also from Florida, it's easy for him to then get it off to the Bahamas or Cuba or anywhere else in the Caribbean once hurricane season is passed. So back on September 15th, I flew from here straight to LaGuardia Airport and then hopped on the boat there in Haverstraw. We spent a few days getting the boat ready. We put solar panels on, did a bunch of provisioning, got some parts and supplies, things like that. He'd already been there for a few weeks, and so the three of us, that's including his dog Pepper, set off sail and then managed to make our way down all the way to Florida. So come on, let's have a look at the adventure. This is what flying is like during the COVID era. The plane was mostly empty. Also, the only thing that I got for any kind of food service was a bottle of water and a cookie in a plastic bag. I flew to Montreal and from there to New York. Here you can see Central Park down below and downtown New York itself. It was a pleasant surprise that as the plane banked off to go make its landing approach to LaGuardia, there, in all her splendor, was the Statue of Liberty. Been here for a couple of days now, just mostly getting a lot of running around down, supplies picked up, there's a bunch of work that we need to get done on the boat before we actually get going and heading south. So you can see the boat is a bit of a disarray at the moment because we've got a whole bunch of tools and things. Back and around here is my bunk, and it's, well, as you can see, completely pulled out so we can get at all the tools and stuff that we need. We need to do a little bit of engine maintenance, just routine stuff, and I'm going to be installing solar panels, and then with the solar panels installed we'll be able to run offshore a heck of a lot longer. And in the meantime, Pepper is over there just having a good old time. I think she's missing her master. Rob is just off to go get some parts. Take care.
Okay, that's okay. Springs.
Right here.
And there they are there. And that is called a pal. A pawl. Oh yeah, they're sticky as all hell.
Finally, with our boat projects done, we were able to cast the lines. Our first day of sailing saw us cruising down the Hudson River, sometimes sailing, sometimes motor sailing, and by the end just motoring, simply because there just wasn't enough wind. I had found out that there was a place that we could anchor right by Liberty State Park, which, if you don't happen to know, is actually right behind the Statue of Liberty. It was a wonderful place to set up our first anchorage.
guys down from Champlain?
Just from Haverstraw. Yeah. Heading down to Liberty.
Yeah. We're going to stop here at 79th Street.
Oh, right, yeah.
We're going up to the coast of Massachusetts.
Going to Florida. And the Bahamas.
Have a great sail.
So this is the marina we started in Haverstraw, and we then sailed down the Hudson River down towards downtown New York. And then we anchored right about here, right by the Statue of Liberty. Okay, so maybe not quite there, just a little bit further over. Right over here by Liberty State Park. There actually turned out to be a mooring ball that was available, so we took that instead. That evening, we had pizza delivered to us by a friend of mine who's been living in New York for over 30 years. It was a wonderful evening with friends. The next morning, we went by the Statue of Liberty again, and then hoisted sails. There wasn't much wind that morning in the upper New York Bay, but we were helped along by an outgoing tide. We could see how much current there was as we passed by the navigation buoy. After coming down the Hudson River the previous day, we sailed across the upper and lower New York Bay to reach Sandy Hook. The following day, it was finally time to get out into the open ocean and do some real serious sailing. Sorry, but it's about high time that I actually did some introductions. This is Rob Desjardins. He is the captain and owner of this fine vessel, and we met in high school. And this is Pepper. The three of us are sailing a Mariner 39 named Leontina down to Florida. Okay, where were we? So on this leg, we sailed down from Sandy Hook to Atlantic City and ended up anchoring by several casinos. While in Atlantic City, we got some more food supplies and then headed out again. It was our first experience with exiting an inlet where often waves from the ocean interact with tidal currents or river currents. and can make for a rather rolly, wavy exit. This was definitely not going to be the last time that would happen. We sailed down the coast to Cape May, which is right at the entrance of the Delaware Bay. It's a beautiful, historic seaside town with an active fishing community. We spent a few days there, enjoying the sights and definitely some of the wonderful fresh seafood. We did some resupply work as well as had our autopilot system checked out, as it hadn't been working. Sadly, it appears it was totally fried, and we needed to hand steer the entire length of our journey. We stayed in Cape May for several days, one of the reasons being there was a storm passing through. After we left, we continued down the coast and stopped by Ocean City as well as Wachaprag, where we were completely surprised one evening by a rocket launch that shook the boat like crazy. Sadly, no video of that. Eventually, we made our way down to Norfolk, Virginia. That's where things changed pace, and we entered the Intercoastal Waterway to avoid going around Cape Hatteras, which can be rather treacherous. But we'll leave that for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.